Right, so here we are. Let's just start. Let's get involved.
Please start.
Claire Mark, I'm going to call you. But
Yeah.
please tell us who your partner is.
Mike Skinner.
Lovely, from the streets. If you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming in.
Husband of 10 years now.
Wow. That's, yeah, I know. We're, how long have you been together then?
I was trying to work this out actually last night because I thought you might ask me. 14 years.
Okay, so you've beaten me and Bev. Okay.
14 years, I think.
Just one up on us, thanks. Nice. We're 13 years this year.
Lucky for some.
I know. When did you get married? What month?
September the 11th, actually.
We got married on September the 8th.
It's a good month. We actually had 2 weddings.
As you do. Why not? God, just one up on me again. I'm going to go.
Yeah, always one-upmanship. No, we got married at Marylebone Registry Office on the 4th. In front of like 8 people. Okay. There's a little yellow room there, which I think a couple of Beatles got married. And then...
is that where they got the yellow submarine from? Yeah, I don't know. Imagine.
Maybe.
I know.
And then we went down to the south of France and got married again.
Nice. That was the party.
Yeah, that was the party. Although we did the whole thing again. Like we had the whole ceremony on a roof on a terrace in this hotel that we love down there.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That sounds nice. Yeah, that was when we could actually go places and do things. So getting on, how has this been for you this time? This,
What, COVID?
I don't like even saying the word. It's like saying Voldemort. You can't say it like Harry Potter. You got, I don't like to say it. Yeah. I can't. I don't like to say them words. COVID or lockdown. It's like.
Actually fine, like pretty good.
Yeah.
So I would say that, peaks and troughs.
Yeah.
Mikey, isolation's a kind of way of life for him, I would say. He was fine about all of that, social distancing. He's pretty
He don't like to be, he's like me, I don't really like.
Antisocial. But what was really sad for him was there was a tour, there was a summer of festivals.
Yeah.
So that all got taken out of the diary. But he released a mixtape.
Yeah, I saw.
And so he signed to Island Records.
Yeah.
And he hadn't been signed to a label for a long time, like 6 years or so, I think. And so actually it was busy. Like he worked harder than he's worked in a long time because that machine of a record label behind him again and releasing an album. I think everybody assumed that releasing a record was a bad idea, but Dua Lipa had done one and it had gone really well, so I think they were like, let's do it. And it was good. So number 2 album, which was cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then
that's nice, especially in lockdown. It's
it's good.
And the way people are kind of listening to music now and buying music, but I suppose it works in a good way sometimes when people are stuck at home or.
Well, he just found it really efficient. He would get up in the morning, do a day of, a morning of Zoom interviews or press.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have to get in a car. He wouldn't have to speak to people he didn't want to speak to, and he would just get on with it. So, so that was good. And for me, we actually just moved house before lockdown. We like screeched in mid-March.
Wow. That's
So
super lucky,
that was
that planned, or did you try and push it? Did you try and push, knowing it was coming?
We were actually supposed to move in the January, and then it got pushed back by 5 weeks to the March. And then, so we got in, and I think 2 weeks later they sort of stopped all house moves and sales. So that was amazing. But we moved from one side of Highgate to the other, and we'd been in the previous house for like 13 years, and then we moved, and then we just didn't leave it. So I feel like we've trashed it already, but it was great. It was a good time to unpack boxes.
Yeah, I love Highgate. I drive through there to go to Hampstead I used to go every morning swimming. Yeah. I'm one of them idiots.
Oh, do you go to the ponds?
Yeah.
Mikey loves the pond.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
All right.
It's quite a sort of spiritual experience, isn't it?
Yeah. I've not. Is he a morning or a?
He's not been in a while.
No,
I think he's a fair weather swimmer.
Damn him.
Yeah. But apparently now you have to make appointments.
So I was really annoyed about that, super annoyed. And then we walked the dogs yesterday with some friends, and we walked past, and I said, is it still? And he said, no, from Monday they're stopping it. So you
Are
can
they closing it again?
No, they're reopening it whenever you want.
Yeah,
so
you can do it again.
That for me, because I go all year round, so I'm one of them idiots that.
Yeah.
But I've just upgraded to a chest freezer in my back garden full of water that I get in.
Sounds like some sort of where you put a dead body.
Well, kind of, yeah, but it's like.
You've got a chest freezer.
I've got a chest freezer full of water in my back garden.
Okay.
Yeah. That
sounds
I get
like
in.
fun.
It's like 7 a.m. This morning I was in there.
So it's cold.
It's 0 degrees, like 1 degree, and I get in there.
Yeah, we'll just run a cold bath. No.
Yeah, I don't really get the same.
Okay.
If there's there's loads of health benefits and stuff. I've got even Bev now putting her face in there. It's just really good for.
You're not painting a picture.
I put her head in there and like leave her in there. No, it's good for the face.
Oh, is it? I might try that.
Listen, cold water for aging and all of that is unbelievable. You got to fly in here, haven't you?
Yeah, it's
That's
all right.
Nice little guest,
Yeah,
little studio guest.
Protein.
Did you invite him in, Jay? Is that what you did?
You leave that fly alone.
Is he paying rent?
He can stay for free.
I know, yeah. No, so
A friend of mine said that when she went in the women's ponds, there were water rats. So I was like, maybe not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a bit. The women's area is beautiful though, because they sometimes do like a mixing. So
There's a mixed one as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I don't know if they're opening that anymore, but it is. It is. I didn't realise that it's good that Mike does that.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
loves it.
Because there's a few like you see a few faces down there
Yeah.
as well, But it is a really nice experience down
Yeah.
there as long as you don't.
Highgate, and it's lovely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It is good. Yeah,
it's
I didn't really know where I was when we first moved there, but.
Where did you move from to there?
Well, I was always. So I grew up in Hampshire, and then I was always like.
My mum lives down there.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
And then I was always kind of Putney, Fulham, Clapham for a while, and I worked in Kensington at Warner's, and then when Mike and I got together, I had a flat in Notting Hill, like a little small box above that nightclub, which I didn't realise was there, called the Globe on Talbot Road.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
I think I thought I was like Sarah Jessica
So you didn't
Parker.
know it was there when you bought the flat?
No, I didn't buy the flat. I rented it.
Oh, so then you found out
the
quickly.
first night I found out quickly that there was an R&B club directly below us that started at midnight. Yeah. Anyway, so I was there, and then we moved up to Highgate. And I literally had no fucking idea. So can I swear?
Yeah,
I had no idea where we were for quite a while. And our boss, the old boss of Warner's, John Reed, I remember him saying, "How's your retirement home?" And I was like, I'm so old. I'm pretty sure it was before Sat Nav, and I had no fucking idea how to get to Kensington. I had one route, in like the old promo cars. And I literally, but now I wouldn't live anywhere else. I love it.
Brilliant, yeah.
It is beautiful.
Isn't it? And it's just, you feel like you're, like, we live in Crouch End, Stradbroke, Crouch End, but it's leafy enough that you feel like, it's nice, but it's only a scoot into London. So, we can walk to Finsbury Park.
Exactly. We've got Waterloo Park and obviously the Heath.
Yeah.
It's like a village. I always feel it's kind of like the Barnes, maybe, of North London, that sort of thing. But and the school's great. Yeah.
So getting back, so you worked at a record label then for how long?
I was at Warner's for, I think it was like 8 or 9 years.
Okay. How did you get into that then?
By accident.
Well, isn't that often the way?
I mean...
By the way, Claire, if anyone wants to, Claire's looking at her friend who she brought in to go to brunch with. So they're like
she's my friend who is the VP of promotions at Warner Brother Records. So I can't say anything. No, so... and
she's going to give all the
we worked together for a long time.
All of it.
Jane Arthey. So I did a history and politics degree.
Okay.
And sort of came out of that and went on a graduate scheme into this media agency called New PhD, which was like kind of a part of advertising, like AMV, and it was really fun. I was on a graduate scheme. It was chaos, but it was an amazing experience.
Brilliant chaos, yeah.
Yeah, but and then I but I was working, it was fun, but the clients, like my client was Transport for London, and it was kind of, I remember thinking, I'm not sure this is what I want to do forever. And I actually just went for dinner back in Hampshire at an old school friend's house, and I sat next to this girl called Sarah Adams, and I was like, what do you do? And she was head of TV promotions at a company called The Partnership. Okay. And she told me all the things she did, and I was like, that's what I want to do.
I want that.
Yeah, I want to do that. And I was like, I want to do it. Can I come? That sounds amazing. And she, I think I took a week off work, the job I had, and did like a week's work experience.
Brilliant. Little sickie
the partnership.
From I've done that. Yeah.
And loved it. But there weren't any jobs. And then I went away, and then I think a job came up as the assistant. And they called them like, the job's yours if you want it. And so I literally took a pay cut and went in and worked at the partnership and back then it was Billy McLeod and Matthew Austin, and then the girl who is still one of my best friends, Sarah Adams. She was my boss for a long time at Warner's, and I was there for 8 years, and I basically sort of did the TV side of it all. Put the acts on the TV, one of whom was Mike Skinner.
And that was obviously how you met, yeah? So that a little thing I liked, because how I met Bev was quite fun, to how we actually got together. It's quite a chance kind of thing. So who approached who kind of...
Well, I think there's two sides to this story.
Oh, this is why I like this stuff, because exactly, there's always...
So, I mean... I'm trying to remember. So the streets, like he was kind of golden boy on the label for a while. I mean, he wasn't golden boy; he was naughty boy. But like in terms of the label and the success, And I'd met him a couple of times. I remember having to do an interview, a TV thing for him at V Festival, and no one could find him. He was under the stage asleep, and I'd also taken Top of the Pops. First time I met him properly, I'd taken Top of the Pops to Paris to do some feature on him. That's how old we are, Top of the Pops days. And I think that was just before Dry Your Eyes. So I knew him. Yeah. And sometimes he would be a bit like, how's your boyfriend? I'd be like, fine, thanks. And then, I don't think anybody saw it coming.
Yeah.
Is that my phone?
It's all right. We like
it's probably
a bit of
him.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing?
And so, he was like notorious for never really doing promo and stuff. Right. And then I think it was the beginning of his third album, and it was a January, and his manager was like, he said yes to doing this TV stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So we did a making of the video. Remember those? MTV. Hi, welcome to my video shoot.
I bet he liked that, didn't he?
So I rocked up with an MTV crew at his. It was that song. Wasn't Blinded by the Lights. That was way before me. BC, way, as he calls it, before Claire. It was.
Does he say BC? Brilliant.
It was When You Wasn't Famous. It was the album that nobody really liked. Okay. I don't think you'd mind me saying that.
Yeah. He's got no choice now. Sorry, Mike.
So I rocked up on this video shoot, and in the January, and
full team, ready to go.
With the full team, yeah. Ready for your close-up.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah, and then he was just suddenly like there, like hello, and it all. He claims I asked him out, but he said this months later, and I was so confused because I didn't ask him out. I think what I did was check where he was going that night to see if I had the car going to the right place, and I think he thought I was asking. Anyway, that was the January, and by the May we'd moved in together, so it was all
very quick. And
like I say, I definitely didn't see it coming. I don't think many people did.
No, and I didn't. Weirdly, with me and Bev as well, it was I was super frightened that she was going to find out about my past. And
why? What's in your past?
Well, it wasn't good. I had to tell her everything, and that was one of the hardest days of my life. Telling her everything that I used to do and get up to, and that was not a good day.
Is it dark?
It's not good.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody comes with baggage, don't you?
Yeah, and there was a lot, so I had to get I didn't know, like.
I feel like we should flip the mic onto you.
No, we really shouldn't. How did you feel? Did you feel any like getting with him, or because you've been around a lot of like?
Yeah, I've been around.
No, but you know,
I get around.
She gets around. No, you know, you've been around a lot of celebrities and stars, and snorting's fine. We're allowed to. I told you, anything goes on here.
She just snorted down the mic.
Okay. How did you feel? Did you worry getting with a star or anything? Did you think, oh, my life's, or did you just go with it because you were just getting on great?
I think definitely we were working at Warner's was fun. I loved my job. I loved all my friends. I loved the team. No day was different. And Janie still does. But like we were working with Green Day and like. REM and the Chili Peppers and Madonna, and it was great. You would pop into these people's worlds more or less on a TV set and get them, and get them to do stuff, and it was really fun. And so I wasn't remotely starstruck, which is probably a good thing, and kind of not. Yeah, I think probably on paper, of all my boyfriends, he wasn't exactly the safest option. But weirdly, the way that we kind of got together, I felt like I really believed him, and I wasn't expecting that. Like I kind of felt like, oh, hang on, I think he does like mean this, because he was pretty. I think he was a bit like you, and I will have. We will. Yeah, no, he was not you, but I mean, I had to bribe him to go on stage at Top of the Pops because he was like, I want our relationship, and I was like, go on stage and sing your songs, and we'll talk about it.
Oh, so dark.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it was definitely like, I think my parents, were like, what?
Because he was deemed a little bit of a bad, he had a bit of that kind of bad boy thing, but that's kind of cool as well, isn't it?
No, definitely. I mean, I think...
Who wants a normal, like, someone normal kind of, like, whatever, do you? A relationship? You want a bit
10 years on, maybe not.
Yeah, you're like, oh, no, you want a bit of zing, don't you know?
Yeah, but I think that I think the reason that, it worked was because... we both had to change quite a lot of things to be together, for sure. But that it didn't feel like a compromise, and it didn't seem like it was a passing thing.
So another thing, because I always joke that you can only have one diva in every relationship, and I'm the diva in ours. Yeah. So
I can see that now. Having met Bev the other day, you are definitely the diva.
I'm a little. I'm the princess and the pea. I'm like that. I can't. I'm the same as my mum. I get on a bed, and if there's anything, I'm everything's.
You are a diva.
I am a bit. I just like. I'm quite.
Somebody
particular.
once said to me, Matt Bates, who's also in the industry, who works at, is it Primary? Yeah. He's one of the directors there. Does the 1975. Anyway, they're really good friends with him. He's married to Emma, who's fabulous and worked at American Vogue for years. And when we were once on holiday with them, he said, in every relationship, there's a flower and a gardener. So there you go.
Who is it in yours? Then?
I'm the gardener, for sure. I mean, come on, look at him. He's the flower. Pretty as a daisy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's a bit of both, for sure. But ultimately... I would say I'm the gardener.
And this is why one of the reasons. Yeah, but this is one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast, is to find out, to just look at the dynamics of, deemed, because when everyone sees a person in the limelight, they deem them as, oh, they're the successful one, they're the this, they're the that. But I wanted to know about the people in the back, in the background. So your route to success where you are, because. We haven't even gone to what you're doing, because you're obviously clearly a driven, focused, successful woman. So,
thanks.
Well, you are, to do what you saw back then, and you were like, oh, I want to do that, and then go and put yourself out for a week trial, and then the job.
Yeah.
All of these things. You're obviously a go-getter to want to push those.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think kind of like I'm quite a scaredy cat, but I think there's also like a kind of, there's a fearlessness, you know, to doing all those things, to what, you know, to working at Warner's, and
you can't.
You got to jump right in, I think.
100%. You can't. You can't be a wallflower. You can't, like, you know. You've got to get in. You've got to get your hands dirty. You've got to muck in. You've got to deal with people, haven't you? And make them do stuff often they don't want to do, and coax them, and you know. And that, I presume, you're lifting people up as well in a nice way to get them to do stuff that's going to benefit them at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, he is the flower in the relationship, but certainly. I guess maybe it's different because am I the first wife that you've?
Do you know what you are?
Different, maybe.
You're the first
woman wife, yeah.
But yeah, the first woman I've had on this podcast, and it's.
I would say that you know, he is a creative lunatic or genius, depending on how you look at it. Yeah. But definitely. He is also very wise, and so as much as I can laugh that I'm, you know, that he's the diva or the flower, I would say that whenever there's something, you know, if I need advice, it's his that I listen to, and he is generally always right, and like his work ethic is like nothing I've ever seen. So but you know, he also, his mind works completely differently. I don't know if Bev is the same to anybody I've ever met. And I think at the beginning that takes a minute because you know, I had a job, but yes, it was at Warner's, but there was structure, and you got up and you go to work, and you know, you have a routine. And actually, I think he was really attracted to that, to someone who had their own thing going on and like was out the door and doing that. Because, you know, when I left work and we had Amelia and I was pregnant, I remember thinking, he's watching a film. Like, let's go for lunch. And he's like, I'm working. And I'm like, what, you're watching a film? But, you know, he still does that. You know, he there's always information going in.
He's just consuming
facts.
Yeah.
Never ever seen him read a piece of fiction ever, but and actually it's his way of you know, it's research the whole time, but he could be sat on the sofa, you know, under a blanket or whatever, or wherever, however he's doing it. It's a completely different way of working, and it took me a while to realize he was working, and actually to be quite respectful of that. And also, like, he does it all at home. So his first album, he really did make it in his bedroom. I think he made it in his wardrobe.
Mad.
And like kind of, you know, a bit like you've got in here, you know, that it had those
soundproof, yeah.
Yeah, and when we moved into our house, in our first house in Highgate, what then became Amelia's bedroom, her nursery,
was his studio.
And it was like, I got a headache every time I walked through the door. It was like there was this TARDIS in the middle, and there's cables everywhere. Yeah. And he would be in the middle with his headphones on, and like a lunatic, you know, a madman. But that's kind of how and it wouldn't be normal hours. It wasn't the cliche of asleep all day and up all night at all. Yeah. But just, he never switches off. You know, he doesn't, and still absolutely doesn't. You know, we could go on holiday. And there will be footage, and he'll have shot some music video without me realizing. And actually, we're on a family holiday, and it looks like he shot a horror movie. You know, that the same thing can.
Does he do? And happen. He does a lot of that himself. So
he does everything himself.
That's impressive.
I mean, I think literally everything.
Do you think?
And like from the first albums to, you know, every lyric, every sound, he masters them. Everything is him.
There's not a lot of them.
No.
There isn't.
I think that's why lockdown was easy for him, because it's what he's always done.
Yeah.
You know, he's created content always.
Yeah.
And he loves to do it. I mean, he's written a film and he's just begun shooting that. But again, he's doing it himself. There was this kind of idea over here that there was a production company, and I was thinking, this is going to be interesting. I'll see how this... And funnily enough, I'm going to do it.
Is he a control freak then?
Totally,
right,
yeah.
Okay, I'll get on
yeah,
with
he's
then.
a complete control freak.
So am I.
Like, can be charming with it,
yeah,
you know, depending how it goes.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's unusual. That's an unusual trait to have.
He's not a control freak anywhere else.
Yeah, like but in an artist, yeah. So he's not anywhere else then.
He's not. Just in his work.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's not controlling of anything else.
like the house that hasn't got to be a certain way or
Oh
whatever.
God, I
me,
wish.
I'm like, I'm a clean freak.
Really?
Yeah. Bev, like I even have to have
Bev.
I even have to have the inside of cupboards clean. That's,
I would. I mean, I try
it makes
my
mind
entire
go a
life.
bit.
Well, they say, you know, tidy house, tidy mind. I've had to compromise. It's been,
Don't even. I had to. So I can't believe you. So I've got property over in West London, and I moved in with Bev because we were going backwards and forwards. Because it was, you know, as you do, you're just going backwards and forwards. And I moved in with about after a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? I can't deal with this. There was stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, just everywhere. Every room. It was like
And do you still argue about that?
Because we don't argue. So because
but like, who's tidying?
I just do it. I literally, if she drops something on the floor, I don't care. I just pick it up and I just do it. I just clean up.
wet towels on the bed. Who does that?
I don't care. Like, I just put them.
No, but that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like clothes everywhere, whatever it is, shoes, trainers, whatever, stuff on the side. She's not always like that, but I just pick it up and I just put it away. Because it's for me, rather than going, oh, I haven't done it, I'm just like, I just do it. Because I clean all the time anyway.
Wow.
I know, it's a bit weird.
It's marvellous.
Yeah,
no, Mike's not like that remotely. Not remotely.
I'm even
He says, you know, I would do it. And I'm like, yeah, in a month.
I would, that's what.
And he's like, you just have higher standards. I'm like, oh, I keep dropping them, you know? But no, I mean, listen, the other, like, it's not all bad, you know?
No, I know, yeah. No,
we haven't really, you know, he provides enough that I'm like, okay, clean up.
You know, I think that's a respect for me as well, because Bev does what she does. And I'm just like, I've got my own stuff that I do, but I'm also like, well, we haven't even got a cleaner. I just do it because I'm like,
that doesn't sound they'd clean well enough for you.
They wouldn't. It annoys me. So we used to have one. It'd annoy me. I'd be like, well, she hasn't even cleaned. So what?
Yeah.
So I just, yeah. She disappeared once randomly.
Your cleaner?
Yeah.
She's in that chest freezer.
I think she. Funny you should say that. I did think it was getting a bit
lovely
tight
skin,
in there. Yeah, she's got really good skin now. If anyone thinks what were we talking about, yeah, it was the.
Apparently, the UV saunas.
The infrared saunas are great. Yeah, but you want to go.
You can get like a lie down one that you zip like another dead body
with the infrared with it. Yeah. It's all about the dead body situation.
Yeah. Well, look great when
we were watching Des as well. And did you watch the series Des? Dennis Nielsen.
No.
You know he murdered like 15 young men in Crouch End, Cranley Gardens.
Fuck.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Well, actually, no, he didn't murder them all there. Yeah, didn't you know about Dennis Nielsen?
It wasn't in your house.
You know, he would listen. Bev's got a fascination about serial killers.
Yeah, it's funny.
Like
we were talking about something like that last night, and Mikey's the same. He's like Alfred Hitchcock
knows
podcasts and that serial thing years and years ago. He was obsessed with properly obsessed with.
It's not right. If I go out, come back from whatever I'm doing, and Bev's watching Snapped Women Who Kill.
Okay.
That's not right. So that's why I'm always really nice to her and just do as she
definitely.
Because it's not right. She
might snap.
She knows how to get away with shit. You know?
Yeah.
She knows how to get rid of the bodies, everything. It's not right.
Yeah, but you would need to do the cleanup, so I wouldn't be any point
that would let her down. The cleaning up.
The cleaning up. Yeah, she'd be screwed. That's funny though.
Yeah.
The dead body thing. The serial killer.
It's very odd, you know.
Is that her way of kind of zoning out?
She just really likes it. She won Celebrity Mastermind a few years ago.
Oh yes.
And she wanted to do the subject on serial killers, but they wouldn't let her
because it was too dark.
I was like,
what did she do it on?
Prince.
Oh, that's cool.
And she won. Yeah, obviously.
That's really cool.
You know, Prince is.
I might have to watch that back.
You should. But she did really won the general knowledge because she's annoyingly clever as well, which.
They are.
Deeply annoys me.
Yeah,
you know, I'm like, I've got no talents, and then she's
sure
got all of this, and she's just like amazing, and anyway, what can you do? You got, you know.
She's marvelous, huh?
She's a good girl. So it's getting back to, you know, kind of life with a, you know, a star. It's like how
I guess he is.
he is.
It's
you
a
know?
funny one though. Streets fans come in all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, but they're big. Like he's got a world. You know, I mean, it's a worldwide audience.
I guess so. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I mean, he just because we were talking about gigs earlier, that he was going to do the driving gigs like Bev
Yeah.
was.
Oh yes.
And they
he was gutted about that. He was actually mainly gutted. You know, obviously.
Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Same as Bev.
Just gutted for them. They did a live stream thing.
Yeah, I saw.
It was which was
well,
amazing.
Yeah.
And actually just getting the band and the crew back together for that was fab. But yeah, I think he felt like a responsibility.
So close, because it was all like, you know, we're gonna do it, and then
I mean, he loves like. And I think he said this in interviews, but like bringing back the Streets 2 years ago, one of the main reasons was that he genuinely missed the tour bus. He was like, I just want to be back on a tour bus. I don't think it was about getting away from me and the family or anything, but maybe it was. But
maybe I'll have a chat with him.
Yeah. But he loves a tour bus because, I mean, he's such a nerd. I don't know if Beverly is, but like, you know, he gets all his paraphernalia and like, gets onto a tour bus for 2 weeks or however long, and he doesn't have to really get off it. It's not like going through sort of airports and stuff. It makes him really happy. Really happy. I mean, I can imagine I wouldn't mind having somebody organise my day and my food and.
Yeah, I couldn't have that. I'd have to.
I wouldn't want to do the shows, obviously.
I couldn't. I have to like have my lunch boxes and I have cook.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like maybe we should have some sort of therapy session about
your
OCD. Yeah, on one of those UV saunas. No, I keep calling them UV. What are they called?
Infrared saunas.
Infrared.
They are amazing. To go from an infrared sauna into a cold bath.
For fuck's sake.
The O'Keefe's bar is open, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah. If you went, listen. You know,
yeah, with Beverly and her snapping.
Yeah.
Like fun.
Yeah. You know.
I'm going to bring Jane again just to make sure I get out of line.
Women who kill.
We pulled up here and she was like, really?
Yeah. You're lucky. Well, we haven't let you out yet.
I know. Where's Tallulah?
Mention that.
Yeah. Should I give the address where we are?
No, you don't. You can't. It's the secret studio.
We're in a secret studio. God, fucking clue is in the title.
This is the duress that I get people here. It's like it's a secret.
Yeah.
It really is. Next to the canal, dispose of the bodies. Anyway, we seem to talk about death quite a lot, but maybe
and aging. It's one and the same.
Yeah, and
your OCD.
Yeah. Do you have much? Do you into your health and fitness and all that stuff, you guys, and routines, and because that's a big part of my life.
I think it's you like. You have kids, and
you got two kids.
2 kids, yeah.
What age?
Amelia and George. Amelia is 11 and George is 9.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So they're a bit older now, but certainly I think. You know, I think I used to think of myself as quite ruthlessly organised, and you know.
Yeah.
Did you say that was true, Arth?
You have to be for what you did.
Coming in, I would colour code my diary and
hold on.
All
what are you saying about my OCD? Hold on.
And actually, I learned that from Sarah, my boss. You know, we would have this beautiful Smithson's diary every year, and we would have our post-it notes, and everything was really organised. I think when you have kids, like that all kind of goes out the window without being cliche. Yeah. So you definitely and being at home and being married to Mike, the ruthlessly organised colour coding. Yeah, they do. And what was the question? What was I answering?
About kids, just about about routines and
Oh, kids. Health. Am I into my health and fitness? Do you like how I swerved away from that? So I would say that I would love to say I have a really good routine, but yeah, I mean, getting up. Having breakfast with my children every morning. Mike, we live really close to the school that they're at, so Mikey walks one. Nice. Amelia's just started at senior school, which is amazing. Yeah. It makes me feel really old that I have a child at senior school, but anyway. So Mike will often walk with George, and then he goes off and will go for a swim or does a bit of training or goes for. So he's pretty good at it. I would say that we are not entirely consistent with it. I think that just comes with, you know, and it would be. I'm not a gym bunny. Right. Most of my friends are.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
They really are. I mean, like they're the fittest women I know. They're unbelievable.
Yeah, Bev's a psychopath.
Really?
Yeah, she's
went
honestly
skiing with some friends, and it was like, I mean, they are beautiful Olympian style athletes, most of them. But maybe that's just North London. But I'm not, and I never was.
Yeah.
I walk my dog.
Right.
I walk my dog, and I do.
What's your dog's
Me
name?
and Anna, you know Anna Hume, who's our mutual friend.
Yeah.
We do Pilates together, and you know, there's a bit of exercise. I try. You know, I've got my watch. I try and do my steps. I've got, like, it's hilarious. My Apple Watch is set to really low, like, you know, settings.
Okay.
So fireworks go off if I, like, do half an hour's exercise.
Oh, it's like, oh, you're the best.
Yeah, like, you're really good. I definitely, I think I go through phases with it all.
Yeah.
But
I think a lot of people do.
I think it's just, I think, you know, being a mom and, like, it's hard to do it all. And actually, you know, now I have a business. It's.
Well, this is what.
Like the, you know, the routine of that has meant that, you know, I think most people do. Like, if you have children and you have the luxury of being at home, most people drop their children off at school and then go and do their workout and then sort of get on with their day.
Yeah.
I might be, you know, what's the word? Lumping them all together. But my business partner Kirsty, her children are at the same school, and she lives in Barnet, so she drops off her boys, and then we work.
Well, that's good, good balance.
And then we, you know, and then generally we're done, you know, by the time it's pickup. So there's no time for sweating it out. Although we've just got an office, and there is actually no excuse, because in the basement of the office is a guy called David who is Mike's trainer.
There you go.
And apparently I need to be lifting weights.
We all do.
My friend Pia, she like completely changed her body.
Yeah.
She looked incredible. I was like, what have you done?
Weightlifting.
She has 4 kids, and she used to say that she drove and just really enjoyed the drive to a gym where she worked out for 20 minutes and then drove back just to be on her own. But she said she started lifting weights, and it was...
So we all need to do it. So women, we all need growth hormone, testosterone.
Yeah.
It helps with women. Well, I know it sounds weird, but even women need testosterone.
Yeah.
And it promotes growth hormone, which keeps you younger, keeps your skin better, joints, inflammation down. But it also, the more muscle you have, and women, we're not going to get like Arnold Schwarzenegger. To get like that is you got to eat like 16 times a day, do loads of steroids. So you're not just going to get massive muscles, but osteoporosis.
But like, never mind that. How do you get rid of the bat wings? You know, that's what
weightlifting.
Okay.
So you do tricep stuff, and so all of
the bat wings in the wine pouches we used to
love bat thing. Yeah. So
lifting weights.
And
also, when you get older, right, you need to do that.
For all of them reasons. So you need, that keeps you younger. It keeps you, and your hips, everything. Apparently that's why when older people fall, because their hips aren't as strong, because they sit down too much, they don't do weight bearing exercises. Yeah. And then when
it just wasn't a thing, right?
But it is now. And that's the thing.
Yeah, that's good. And people are more educated and all that stuff now. Yeah. I mean, I walk a lot. Yeah. And I think actually that is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
I think walking is... My friend Jason always laughs at me because he's like, kid, he calls everyone kid, have you done any exercise? I walked. He's like, yeah, no, that's not exercise.
Well, the thing is, there's a part of it's because there are still quite a lot of like overweight people that walk around. So I'm not like, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in general, if it were a brilliant exercise, I don't know if there'd be a lot of overweight people still. Yeah. So,
I find the gym is quite, I always, it's not my happy place. Like, I never really enjoyed it. I was once a member of a gym just to use the sunbed years ago.
I used to like a sunbed in my 20s. I'd like a sunbed. We'd have a little tan off.
Yeah, a little tan off.
Friday night.
Pay the monthly subscription for a
17
sunbed.
pints of Stella.
Yeah. I mean, in answer to your question, not really. Mike's better than me, definitely. He used to run a lot, and he still does a bit. But
he's
we're
doing
just
his weights and stuff now.
Yeah.
So, are you like? You're obviously both successful people, but like, because I always look at, I read a lot of stuff about high performing individuals and just like mind hacks we talked about earlier. I like learning about the mindset of successful people and, you know, all sorts. So, and
it's a minefield.
Yeah, it is. It's mad. But a lot of people have set routines, like morning routine. I've got my morning routine and night routine. I mean, you guys don't really have that, or do you have little things that you have
I
to
actually
do?
think that when we do, we're better at life for sure. Actually, I was watching the masterclass. Have you seen those podcasts? And there's an Anna Wintour one. There's a few of them. And interestingly, Mikey and I were talking about it, because what you took from it was that most of the most interesting and the most successful people get up at 4 a.m. You know, they read the paper, they work out, they start their day, they have their routine. I mean, I would love to say that I'm in that category. I mean, yeah, like I say, I think when you have kids and you work from home, and you know, it's hard to put those routines to be really rigid with them, and the kids come first. I mean, that's the truth of it.
And I suppose it depends as well what everyone deems as success. Everyone sees success as different things. You know, success is being happy, having great kids, having a nice family life. You know, being successful, where you've got money that you haven't got to worry where the next meal's coming from.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so
I mean, when we moved house, I feel like that's made a big difference, because the kind of configuration of our home means that now, before it was beautiful, kind of open plan, and Mike had a studio at the end of the garden, which he never went in. He would just sit in the house, because really? He's a homebody and he liked being in the house. He'd make a cup of tea and watch his films or whatever it was he was doing. And I began my jewelry business, and Kirsty and I would work at the kitchen table, and the kitchen table of that house was where everything happened. And like the layout of the house, it was this lovely conservatory, and you know, every meal, every bit of homework, everything happened there. And by the end, I was sort of shunting things out the way to make the kids
trying to clear
dinner and stuff. And where we live now is more compartmentalized, and we both have our own sort of working space within the home, and that's made a really big difference.
Because I was watching, I do property and stuff as well, so I was looking into what's the trends are and everything, and people are gravitating more to having rooms again.
Yeah, that's true actually. Yeah, because it was all beautiful and open plan, but you could see shit everywhere all the time, and I mean, and you would not have coped.
No.
Yeah, you would have had come out in a rash, I think, if you'd come to our old house. Jane used to come in and say that my house made her feel better about her own chaos.
About life, just in general. Generally. Makes me feel better about life,
There's definitely, I mean, I'm a Gemini, although has that all changed now? Like, I think that I really like order, but actually I've noticed that I'm obviously drawn to chaos as well. Like, we have dogs, we have children, I'm married to Mike. It's like, there's, it's always been a really busy house. Yeah. I always had this dream that I could live in a show home, and that dream's never been realised really. Although, I mean, my house is beautiful, I really kind of, I love the homemaking kind of side of it. And actually, having recently got the office for the Kirsty Lamarck has made a big difference. And I think, that age-old thing of getting up, going to an office, take the kids to school, it's just around the corner, going to the office, you're so much more efficient with your time. But it's definitely taken me, Amelia's 11. The last 10 years, I would say, have been pretty chaotic.
Do you think that then? Do you think that actually physically, because obviously with, I don't want to say the word of what we've just been going through, COVID.
I was like, what?
I know. COVID, I don't like talking about it. Everyone's looking at working from home, and and a lot of companies are seeing a rise.
Yeah, we're doing the opposite of the trend,
isn't it? Weird,
it's weird. I mean, we've been really lucky just for my business for Kirsty Lamarck. So we've actually done really well.
Take a step back though, and just tell us what your business, your new business, and you've had it for a while is.
So it's called Kirsty Lamarck, and I'm the Lamarck. My business partner is my great friend Kirsty, and. So we started.
You wearing it today?
Oh, of course. Dripping in it always, as is Jane.
Lovely, very nice. A little plug, when we're.
So So I worked at Warner's, and then I was a mum, and actually I went back and did a year maternity cover at Universal.
So you
for
left,
a while.
You left.
I left Warner's.
To have your children.
Yeah,
right.
I left.
Not because, and you were cool with that. You were thinking
Yeah,
of
I
going
mean,
back, or
no.
You're kind of done with it.
I definitely left when I had Amelia, and I left. I think I left, didn't I? Did I try and come back? I mean, I'm still so good. I'm good friends with everybody, so I don't really feel like I left. But I definitely stopped working and went home and like had a baby.
After,
yeah. And at that point, actually, you know, in his career, Mike was still touring and the streets. You know, it made sense that I was kind of at home with our child, and I think I'd had enough actually as well. Like, I think I'd had enough of kind of that particular role.
It's a tough business as well. It's
well,
I long
and
hours,
also
weird hours, and
I was kind of like, okay, I sort of looked after a lot of people, as it were, and now I was ready to look after my husband. And well, he wasn't my husband at the time. We had Amelia first, and then got married. But anyway, so anyway, I'd given up. I'd stopped work, and then we got married. So I had Amelia in 2009, and we got married in 2010. And then I remember my sister saying, you need to have another baby now. I was like, what? I've just got married. Look at me. I've been the shape of my life. And that was when I did actually work out. And she was like, no, you need to have another baby. So, and luckily enough, we did. Like, actually, within a year of getting married, George was born. Wow. So...
that's a gift now, isn't it?
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. And I would, I would keep having babies. I love a baby.
Really?
Not so keen on toddlers, but.
Oh, really? Is that when it goes a bit? Yeah.
I've gone completely off piece. What did you want? Oh, so I went back and I went. Ooh, swinging on the chair.
Yeah, naughty. You were that at school, weren't you? That's bad. Yeah.
I love a swing on a chair.
Yeah. So yeah, you went back.
I'm not very good at answering questions succinctly, am I?
Don't matter.
Do I need to put the question in the answer?
No, you just need to talk as you want, because that's the whole.
What?
That's the whole thing of it.
Am I sweating?
No, you're not. You're not. It's all good.
Jane's giving me.
The
go back to the jewelry.
Yeah.
I thought you were like.
No, you were talking. You were talking about.
So I had gone back and I'd done a year at Universal, and actually my mother was unwell, and there was all sorts of changes going on.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I sort of closed the door on record companies. Like, actually, I don't want to go back, because I thought maybe I did, and so I sort of tested the water a bit. And then I was a bit like, maybe I'll do a blog or something. But I'm not very good at this morning I'm wearing. Nobody needs to know that. Nobody wants to see that. So anyway, so Kirsty, who is also a mum at school, but we didn't really cross over. I knew her. We had a mutual friend, Kate, and Kirsty was already making these beautiful kind of antique beaded bracelets with diamonds on them, and I'm such a magpie. I was like, oh. And my mother was still alive at the time, and I remember I threw a party, and Kirsty brought all her jewelry and all her bracelets, and I loved it. And anyway, I think a year or so passed, and our mutual friend Kate was, and I think she'd seen me thinking I was going to do this blog, and possibly thinking I was a bit didn't really know what I was doing. And and the same with Kirsty. Kirsty was, I'm 100 miles an hour, and Kirsty's pretty chill. And I think a lot of people had said to her, what are you going to, you should do more jewelry. Anyway, Kate said, you two go and,
go and think,
go for a coffee. Yeah. So Kirsty and I went for a coffee, and and basically it was so fun. I remember she's obsessed with dogs as well, and we kind of bimbled around Liberty, and we were talking about all the things we loved and what we thought was missing, and we both loved vintage jewelry, but we didn't have $2,000 to drop on a bracelet. We have kids, we have a lot of outgoings. Nothing was particularly relevant to our lives. And we were a bit like, should we give it a go? Come on, let's do it. 50-50, let's create a brand. It took us ages to decide on a name. I mean, we came up with Kirsty.
I know.
We went round and round.
You really went deep, didn't you?
Really went deep. No, but you have to be careful with jewelry, because it can sound really cheap. I don't know, solar eclipse, or it's like, yeah, no. So
don't take that anyway, by the way.
No.
Just, yeah.
So anyway, 2017, we
randomly, when Mike started the streets again.
Was it? No, I don't think so. When did he restart? It was the year later, wasn't it?
Yeah, okay, but around, you know.
So he was amazing actually in all the Kirsty Lamarck kind of creation, because he, you know, I hadn't been brought up to run a business of my own. I've been brought up, you get a job, you know, you go to university, you get your exams, you get a job, and that's what I'd done. And so like being starting my own business was something I knew nothing about. I still know nothing about, nor does Kirsty. We are winging it, but
aren't we all?
Yeah.
look at this.
We got going, and we used to do the school fair, and then really we had these beautiful angel wing earrings, which is still one of our best sellers, and I had become and still am really good friends with Holly Willoughby, and her husband. The four of us, and me and Mike and her and Dan, used to go out, and drunkenly I gave her a pair of our earrings at, I think we were at our house, and then like a few days later, it was around Christmas 2017, I remember. She literally held them up, wore them, and on her Instagram said, "My friend has started a jewelry business called Kirsty Lamarck. Look at these." Honestly,
it went exploded. Yeah,
it was amazing.
Love that.
I mean, she's one hell of a powerful woman.
She is.
Yeah.
No joke. Yeah.
She's like a national treasure. Yeah, I love her very much.
Amazing woman.
Yeah, and she really didn't need to
get a husband on.
Dan, yeah. I know Dan.
Oh, yeah.
What are you winking at me?
I'd like to get a husband.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Over to you.
Yeah. You'll have to have
I'm sure he's got some stories.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Holly wore it, and that kind of kick-started it, and then we were really lucky, and you know, we got going. My sister was she was like, whatever you do, can you just make sure it's not too fucking expensive, please? So we made sure, like, one of the things was creating diamond jewelry. I just remembered when I first found Kirsty, that because everything she was making contained teeny tiny pave diamonds, you know, not big diamonds, not beautifully cut diamonds, just tiny bits of diamonds, that you had a bit more of an emotional connection to this piece of jewelry. You wanted to keep it, you know, you didn't want to give it to your niece or whatever. Yeah. So we took that idea and we kind of grew the business into more than just bracelets, into bringing in jewelry, and just really stayed true to what we wanted to wear and a price point that we felt we would pay for it. And we just kind of we found this workshop who we still work with in Jaipur, this amazing family-run workshop that we visited, and we have a workshop that we work with in Hatton Garden, which is literally like, I mean, that workshop's great, but dear God, Hatton Garden is like dinosaurs. I don't know if I can say that, but it's like, you say things like, could you email me? And they're like, what? I don't have an email. Yeah. No, just come back. What do you mean come back? Come back tomorrow? That's no good. Yeah. So anyway, we've got this kind of, we started, and then we were really...
So you do all the design, like... Yeah. Because that obviously you didn't design stuff.
No.
In your whole life.
No, not
and then you're like, we can just design.
I mean, listen, I can't draw, but I know
you've got an idea of...
Yeah.
But where's that come from then? Because are you like that at home? Have you, your house, did you put all your stuff in your house? Because Bev, nothing, not involved one bit.
Really?
Not a bit. So
not
I redid our whole house, and everything is me. Everything. I designed everything, built everything, fitted everything.
Wow.
And she had no say.
She really has struck gold, right?
No. She had no say because she just wasn't bothered.
Yeah.
Like,
no, Mikey's
cushions,
not
I got all the cushions made. I did, you know.
Yeah.
I know.
This is a whole other podcast.
I designed some sofas and got them built as well.
Wow.
But I've never done it. But I just copied some other stuff.
So I think
you copy and then make better, don't you? Everyone does.
Totally. And I think you get to a point in life when you know what you like, or like some of my stylish friends, one who's sitting here today, you know, like I would see what they would choose themselves, and I would be like, oh, I like, you know, I kind of like absorb. I'm really into details, and I think that's something that creatively I've learned that's really important, because I can sort of, you know, Kirsty's really good at, you know, the vision. She's very good at kind of the actual jewelry, and she's got a really good eye. And she doesn't really say no often, but when she does, I really listen because I'm always like, blah, 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 and she's like, oh, no. And then, and she had our best-selling, necklace, which is on a kind of gold chain, and it's got a big diamond star, but it's all set in like a darker sort of oxidized silver. And I remember thinking, it all needs to be gold. And she was like, no, it doesn't. We mix the metals, and so it kind of has this edge to it. And I think that we've somehow managed to create a brand that that's our ethos.
Yeah.
It's accessible.
Yeah.
It's something you want to keep forever. We hope it goes with everything that you already own. That's sentimental to you. And that it's actually that kind of vintage inspired. Got a cool edge. I don't know. It's fun.
Do you do men's as well?
Well, I mean, you'd look great in a St. Christopher. Our friend Jackie Healy, actually, who's married to, you should get her in. You so should. She's married to Kelly from the Stereophonics.
I'd love,
Jackie is an incredible human.
Is she? See that?
Why are you wasting your time with me? Go straight to Jackie.
Because you're amazing. It's like everyone's
No, trust me, Jackie is.
Yeah, but everyone's got an amazing story, and that's what I just love finding out about people's stories, about the success of people, mindsets, all of that, routines. That's where I go.
I mean, I would say with the Kirsty Lamont thing, there's no way I would have done it without Mike. So back to kind of that dynamic, I suppose. I would never have known that it's okay to start an Instagram account, and he's taken all the photos up until the last few months. He's done every shoot, every photo, every retouch.
Okay.
He's been unbelievable in that sense. He's been like creatively been very much like let me help.
Force. Yeah.
Brilliant. Like every product shot with the white background, he bought the right light, but so he was massively supportive in all of that, because we'd never, we did it all for free. My friend Anna, she's our model because she's gorgeous. So Anna, and it would often you'd see a bit of my heavily filtered neck, and we did it all completely. We've never had investment,
that's amazing,
apart from the bank of the husbands a couple of times to get us through a couple of months here and there.
But that's what you do in a relationship. You do this. Me and Bev have done the same thing. You help each other out.
You do, definitely, and he definitely gave me the confidence to start a business for sure. Although he's not exactly a businessman. Well, he is, but
but exactly. So
it's weird. It's like
did you find new strength then from when you did it?
I feel super grateful that I have that. My kids are older now. I think that you can get to a point where you feel like you're possibly in the wilderness a bit. There's lots of friends. Well, not lots of friends, but I think I always needed an outlet because it's not the gym for me. So I think I always needed a place to do something, and it's to feel
like that's your thing. Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, imposter syndrome is strong. For both me and Kirsty.
Trust me, I'm doing this. I'm like full on this.
So
how hard it was to do this was unbelievable to set this up.
Done.
Well, no, I'm still done. I'm still a bit like I just get on with it and just pretend. I haven't watched any of them yet. I'm just get on with it. And
I don't want to see this. I was going to say something. No, I was going to name drop. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, in the imposter. So another thing on the Kirsty Lamont journey was that hilariously, well, maybe not. It's not funny. But when Gwyneth and Chris were together, they lived in London, and their children were at the same school as our kids. Yeah. And Kirsty, who is bonkers in a beautiful way, she's bohemian, and she's she's
free, and
she's got dogs, and her house. I don't think she'd mind me saying it's like the Weasleys. It's like there's a madness to her.
Yeah. But love and warmth
and Gwyneth Paltrow became super close friends through their children, and have remained so, and that is an amazing friendship. And so she was in America at one point on holiday over there, Kirsty, and called me going, so Gwyneth is opening a shop in London, a Goop store. She wants to stock our jewelry. I was like, what? Okay. And so suddenly, you know, we'd had Holly wear it.
Amazing.
And then Gwyneth said, oh my God, you know, I'm going to, and so she opened this store in Westbourne Grove, and we were, you know, there was Foundry and Lockett and all these other beautiful brands, and then there was Kirsty Lamarck. And because we were 350 quid, it flew out the door.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh
Amazing.
shit. Okay, it's this sort of, you know, and Gwyneth, they had an opening dinner which we went to, as did Demi Moore. It was hilarious. She kind of bounded over. I mean, she adores Kirsty, and rightly so, you know. And she was like, "You guys, you know, it's our best-selling jewelry brand. You know, it was crazy." And there was a few moments like that along the way. And I think when you start a business, we never ever, and still don't plan to open a shop. We started this as an online business, which for jewelry is tricky because
so clever though, because how it's worked.
Yeah, and so Instagram is our shop front, and Mikey definitely gave me that. He was like, "You take Instagram, that's your shop, and that's, you know." And yes, it helps that Holly wore it and Gwyneth's
but that's what you
support.
bring. Yeah, but that's
I you know, I know lots of amazing people through Warner's. My friend Anthony Kendall, who has a beautiful PR agency, you know, he got sent it to Alexa Chung and Daisy Lowe and like I randomly became friends with Jodie Comer, and so like incredible humans have worn it, and that's unbelievably important. We haven't paid anyone, we haven't chased anyone, I've never asked anything of anyone, but if you know, they've found it and they've loved it, and that's like the biggest.
But that's a good energy. But
sure.
I think often success comes
and
from
Dua
that
Lipa.
energy. Oh, there you go.
Thanks to Jane, she went on a world tour in our Chunky Star.
She's not got many Instagram followers.
No, that was surreal.
She got like 20 million. Or so? Is it?
53. She's such a babe. That was bonkers.
It was that.
I was like, Arthur, I think she's wearing our necklace, and then 6 months later, I think she's in the bath with it on. Can you check if she needs it replacing? She's like, she's fine.
I love that.
Yeah. Amazing. So it's been that the Kirsty Lamarck thing is
and
amazing.
It's still going. Obviously, still going great, and you're busy in that, you know.
So lockdown and COVID was amazing because again.
Was it nice to sorry to interrupt. Was it nice to know that you had a business that kind of wasn't massively affected by a shop or anything, you know, shutdown?
I mean, it's me and Kirsty, and then Nanny Bobby, who was my nanny for a while, who's literally like my left arm, my right arm, an amazing human. She because obviously the kids are older, but I could not let her out of my life. She's become our kind of head of logistics, as it were. Oh, okay. So she whizzes around and but beyond that, you know, it was just us. So we didn't have to furlough anyone. And we did, like, our workshops closed, but because we sort of saw it coming. I was quite a psycho at the beginning. I was like binging on chocolate and BBC News, and like I remember thinking, okay, Kirsty, we need to get loads of stock. So we did a big order. That's clever. And we got an amount of stock, which we sold through. I mean, I was so humbled. But I think once people were furloughed, but once people knew
what was coming in and how was...
Because actually, a few people I knew actually enjoyed the family time that it gave us and the routine, you know. I actually did work out in lockdown because I had a bit of routine and, you know, everybody. So there was an element of kind of calm. And once it settled, we had a bit of press as well. And the sales were amazing and really consistent. And I think that people, you know, we want to sell something that makes people feel good about themselves. Something that you can, you know, if you are going to an event, you wear it, but you just
want a little
sleep
gift,
in it,
and like, not, and it's not, as you say, not crazy money, so it's that nice price point.
It's a really nice, it's just win-win. It's a I think people needed some sparkles actually in kind of the COVID thing, so that's been great, and then it's kind of gone up a level, and we're in a really good position. I love it. I really love it. I mean, I don't know what the hell we're doing, but we're giving it a go.
Look, none of us do we? And that's the biggest thing. None of us, especially in this climate that we're in at the moment, you know, none of us know exactly where we're going or what we're doing, but I think We just try.
You just
and
have to do the right thing for yourself, I think,
and other people. I think.
Like,
well, just try and be good people.
But like, what makes sense for you? Put the mask on and just do what makes sense for you. We need to be more Swedish. I'm not sure the Brits. We were talking about this on the way. I'm not sure the British are very good at being Swedish, but like Sweden didn't lock down. Actually, I don't want to necessarily get into all of this, but basically, just take it easy.
It is, but and it's difficult not to get into that whole thing, isn't it? But what does the kind of not too distant future hold for you and Mike then? He's you're obviously going to carry on with...
My mind's gone blank. I don't know.
No, with a bit. And then Mike, I presume, has shifted everything like Beverly. Everything from this year goes to next year.
Yeah, so I think
it's going to be the busiest touring gig.
But don't you think... I don't think I'm going to keep up with the demand for shows. Like, people are desperate to get out there.
If we can do it next year. There's still no saying that we're going to do... Yeah, well...
But... well, for him, he's shooting a film. I mean, like, it's what he's wanted to do for a really long time, and he wrote this. It's taken him a few years to write the script and tweak the script, and turn a bad song into a good song, as he used to say. Like, so the same with the script. So he's doing that, and I can see already it's going to be all consuming, and it's kind of new. So it's going to be a new path for sure, because I think there's a mountain that is his film, and he's at the bottom of it at the moment. So daunted is a word he keeps saying, but I'm excited. Like, I've read the script; it's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And beyond that, who knows? I mean, I've got a vision of like Cannes Film Festival.
You there, fabulous dress. Yeah, with your mates.
What are you wearing?
Sashaying down the Hey, let's
see. I'm the one that loves all that.
Keep that strong. Keep that live vision, and it'll.
Like creative vision is the thing.
Listen, that's the thing. If you don't visualize stuff, it doesn't happen. So visualize it, get it out there, and make it happen.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen.
Are we done?
I'm
How long have we been chatting?
I don't know, but listen, I am super, super grateful. I know you're a bit not sure about this, but you've been absolutely amazing.
Am I really boring talking about myself? This is like
you
therapy.
weren't talking about yourself. You were talking about everything, life in general. You were
much better.
You were unbelievable. So I'm really grateful, and thank you again.
Pleasure.
Until next time.
Should we keep chatting?
Until next time.
You definitely need to get your OCD seen too. Definitely. I'm just going to leave you with that, Jay.
and cut there. Brilliant. Thank you, my lovely.